Hey guys, welcome to day one of our 2019 digital launch. Today we're going to be talking about the user interface, admin, as well as some tips on how to install. Let's check it out. It's in the stars. Hasn't it always been? As far back as humans go, we've been looking up. Our drive to explore our universe has always pushed technology forward. The Canada-France-Hawaii telescope has been giving us clear glimpses into the cosmos for over 40 years. But technology changes a lot in 40 years. So when it's time for a redesign, you need a system that has performance, attention to detail, a full design ecosystem, and offers the latest innovations. Welcome to the 2019 SOLIDWORKS release, presented to you by CADimensions.
Today I'll be showcasing some of the new enhancements to the SOLIDWORKS 2019 user interface. I hope you all are just as excited for the new enhancements as I am, so let's go ahead and get started. Breadcrumbs have been modified to make your job even easier when working within an assembly with multiple mates. Previous versions of SOLIDWORKS only allowed for one mate to be selected from the breadcrumb selection box. However, new enhancements have been made to speed up the process of editing current existing mates. In SOLIDWORKS 2019, you can now select multiple mates within the breadcrumb selections and make further edits or changes to those relations. By clicking on the side plate of this hoist assembly, we have our breadcrumbs now shown in the graphics area. Hovering over the mates and simultaneously holding down Control and left-clicking on the mates allows for a multi-selection of multiple mates. After making this selection, right-clicking will bring up a new window that gives the ability to delete all mate relations or perform other options that appear in the context-sensitive menu. This includes editing the feature, suppressing the feature, and replacing some of the mate entities. Breadcrumbs can also be lifted from its traditional spot in the graphics area and can now follow the cursor no matter where the cursor is stationed. Turning this setting on in our Options, Display, Show Breadcrumbs at Mouse Pointer will have the assembly's breadcrumbs appear at the cursor every time a selection is made. The breadcrumbs enhancement will change your everyday work in large assembly files when making design changes. The task pane has always been very static and unchangeable when working in SOLIDWORKS. Tabs were shown indefinitely within the graphics area, and it always opened up to the last tab that was used. The task pane functionality was great to use, but it just wasn't able to be altered in any kind of way to make it easier to access any of the important information. Customization is now available in SOLIDWORKS 2019. Right-clicking on one of the tabs in the task pane allows the customized tab to appear on screen. The interactive Customized Task Pane tab window pops open with two separate columns. The left column allows for hiding and showing of the tabs nested within the task pane. Checking a box will have that tab of the task pane shown next time the task pane is accessed, whereas unchecking a box will hide that one. The right column allows a user to choose which tab will be open by default when launching the task pane. Lastly, the Task Pane Customizer offers the option to reorder the tabs in any sequence that you'd like. By hovering over the different tab names, the tabs can be clicked and dragged into their desired positions. All of these new settings will be saved and will remain saved even after closing SOLIDWORKS and reopening, giving you quicker access to the necessities found within the task pane. Have you ever been working in SOLIDWORKS with a couple of files minimized in its window and you weren't sure which file is which? You manually maximize each file one by one to see if you found the file you're looking for? Well, finally, SOLIDWORKS has introduced a new preview window for all open but minimized documents. I'll start by opening a few components that are used in this assembly file and minimize all those files so that the graphics area is completely blank and open for use. Hovering over the minimized documents, a preview with the document's full name, its path, and a small thumbnail of the file can be seen. SOLIDWORKS has eliminated the guesswork when opening up minimized documents, with each document giving enough information to maximize with confidence. SOLIDWORKS 2019 has overhauled the Quick View mode process and ultimately increased its ease of use. The process to save and open a part or assembly in Quick View mode was very tedious, but working in Quick View mode in SOLIDWORKS 2019 has gotten a whole lot easier. In SOLIDWORKS 2018, users were able to open a part or assembly in Quick View mode, but were limited to which configuration was opened on launch of that file. Quick View mode was typically only available to open the configuration that was last saved in that file. However, in SOLIDWORKS 2019, the ability to specify which configuration will be opened upon launch while utilizing Quick View mode is now available and will save time in doing so. This eliminates the stress and worry of trying to remember which configuration was last saved when getting a quick look at your file. This current open file has two different configurations already created, with one having a short neck and one with a longer neck. When working with a file that has multiple configurations in SOLIDWORKS 2019, simply right-click on the configuration in the Configuration Manager and select Add Display Data Mark. Adding a display data mark to both configurations will allow for either of them to be launched later on. I'll save this file and select to open it back up, and then set the mode to Quick View in the dropdown. Either of the two configurations that we just saved can now be selected to open in Quick View mode without any issue. You can also toggle between the two configurations that have the display data mark once reviewing the part in the Quick View mode. This will give you a better understanding of which items have been configured in their respective configurations. One of my favorite enhancements when it comes to the user interface within SOLIDWORKS 2019 is the newly updated freeze and rollback bars. I know for myself that I've always had trouble left-clicking and dragging the rollback or freeze bar somewhere within my feature tree to suppress or freeze features and sketches in earlier versions of SOLIDWORKS. Luckily, in SOLIDWORKS 2019, drag interaction with the rollback and freeze bar have both been enhanced. This will make it easier to interact when working in the feature tree than ever before. Both the freeze and rollback bars are much bolder and thicker than they were in previous versions. This makes it a lot easier to grab and drag them to any place within the feature tree. The ability to right-click on the feature to place the rollback bar above, or right-click and hit freeze to place the freeze bar below is still available. However, interacting within the bars themselves has been greatly improved. This will save a lot of time and frustration when reducing rebuild times within SOLIDWORKS. You'll probably have already seen SOLIDWORKS say that the software has stopped responding when rebuilding a large data-heavy feature. In SOLIDWORKS 2018 and previous versions, when this message window would appear on your screen, it would open a window-specific not responding dialog box. This would happen sometimes even when SOLIDWORKS was working normally, but just running a little slowly trying to perform an action or rebuild a large file. Now in SOLIDWORKS 2019, a SOLIDWORKS-specific dialog box will appear when SOLIDWORKS seems to not be working and/or during a lengthy process. You'll have the option to choose to either wait for the command to complete, which is always recommended to not lose any information, or to close the software altogether. If you choose to close SOLIDWORKS, you can send comments and performance log information to Dassault System SOLIDWORKS, and they will review your logs and help improve the performance and stability in future service packs and updates. The recent Documents window was revamped last year in SOLIDWORKS 2018, but now even more improvements have been made to be able to save more recent documents and also make the window easier to manage in SOLIDWORKS 2019. SOLIDWORKS 2019 now provides easier access to your designs directly from the welcome page. The recent documents can now showcase up to 100 of your recently opened documents. Each document is displayed with its own preview, and the new Quick Filter can be used to refine the list by displaying only parts, assemblies, or drawings. In the Recent Documents window, you can easily search for the name of that file you're looking for in the search box, and SOLIDWORKS will automatically find it for you. Typing the word camera in the search box is all that is required to open up an assembly that needs changes made. SOLIDWORKS 2019 makes it even easier to view and manage external references when working directly in assembly too. Just by viewing the parent-child relations in the Feature Manager, you can break or lock references within the assembly. When working within an assembly like this one, you'll have many references that can now be viewed and managed in a new interactive dialog box. Components that contain one or more references are listed below, along with each individual feature, its status, and referenced entity. By selecting the Isolate option, components can now be viewed independently. As each baffle plate reference is selected from the list within the window, its corresponding geometry is highlighted directly in the graphics area. By clicking on the circular pattern in the list, you can break the selected reference to remove the relation to its pattern. Now I can simply jump back into the feature tree and redefine the circular pattern feature to utilize the outside edge of this plate. SOLIDWORKS 2019 makes managing complex relationships between features and parts easier than ever before. SOLIDWORKS 2019 introduces a brand new way to communicate your design ideas by enabling you to add markups directly to parts and assemblies when working on a touch device. We'll be working with an exploded view of this hoist assembly in SOLIDWORKS and add markups to the assembly file. To create a new markup, simply select Insert Markup View from the Markup folder in the Feature Manager and set your preferred pen style using the color palette and thickness slider. Once we've done that, we can now start writing directly on the screen of our touch device. As I write, the notes are captured together with the orientation of the markup view. The great thing about this is that the markups are stored with the model and can be viewed by other members in SOLIDWORKS whether or not their workstation is touch enabled. At any time, you can add even more clarity to your notes by mixing styles, changing pen color, and thickness of the point. This can be a great way to emphasize or highlight key areas and comments for other users to see. Once we're finished marking up our assembly, the markup view is automatically captured and stored in the markups folder and can be renamed if necessary. The markups that were just created are stored within the model and can be exported in a variety of industry standard image formats or PDFs. 3D Markup in SOLIDWORKS 2019 provides a fast and innovative approach to communicate your ideas. SOLIDWORKS 2019 offers a wealth of innovative new capabilities and enhancements through the user interface that makes your everyday user experience even more productive. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you all in the next one.
"2019 enhancements for the administration of SOLIDWORKS include changes to the Upgrade Assistant, Pack and Go, RX tool, and some noteworthy changes in the tools options. Let's start by checking out the new features for the Upgrade Assistant. The Upgrade Assistant is located in the SOLIDWORKS Task Scheduler. The data shown in the Upgrade Assistant is useful when detecting if a model is rebuilding differently in a new version, but not necessarily failing. In 2019, SOLIDWORKS has added even more capabilities by detecting and reporting changes to the center of mass and volume. If we take a look at this sample report, we can see the volume and center of mass has not changed. One thing to note is that you will need SOLIDWORKS 2018 and 2019 installed to use the Upgrade Assistant. The files are not modified or upgraded. Okay, enhancements for Pack and Go. Have you ever checked the Include Drawing box and felt like this? Well, new for 2019 is an option to improve performance when searching for drawings to include in the Pack and Go. Now, when you select Include Drawings, you can improve performance by limiting the search for drawings to specific folders. The option Include Subfolders in Tools, System Options, External References works in two ways. When it is not checked, the software limits its search for drawings to the folders of the packaged models and their folders specified in referenced documents. If Include Subfolders is checked, it will search those locations as well as any subfolders that exist within them. Up next is SOLIDWORKS RX. Let's take a look at some enhancements that will make you jump for joy. Let's start a problem capture. Notice anything different? In the 2019 RX tool, you can restart the video recording without having to close SOLIDWORKS. You can even pause the recording now. This is going to be great for me, as I often get distracted and lose my place when I'm trying to... Wait, what was I talking about? Oh look, squirrel. Oh yeah, that's right. We were talking about SOLIDWORKS RX and the awesome new enhancements for 2019. SOLIDWORKS no longer needs to shut down to finish a video capture. Just simply clicking stop will bring you back to the RX where you can add a description and package files. The maximum video recording length has increased from 5 to 10 minutes. And last but certainly not least, in 2019, the SOLIDWORKS RX allows you to record the entire screen instead of just the SOLIDWORKS window. So did you jump for joy? I know I did for the ability to restart a recording. Okay, last let's talk about some noteworthy changes to the system's options and document properties. In 2019, you can now automatically lock rotation for new concentric mates to toolbox components. This setting can be found in the System Options under the Hole Wizard Toolbox section. No more extra clicks. The default save folder location has also been added. This specifies the default folder where new documents are saved. If you do not specify this path, the default save folder varies based on the last used path. To review, we covered changes to the Upgrade Assistant, Pack and Go, RX tool, and some noteworthy changes in the tools options. Does a new product release get you excited? Do you find yourself camping outside by your mailbox awaiting the SOLIDWORKS 2019 DVD? Well, you can come in from the cold, warm up with your favorite drink, grab your computer, and start downloading. SOLIDWORKS will not be shipping DVDs this year, but have no fear, the SOLIDWORKS 2019 download is up to 50% faster than previous years. This new faster download method also provides a solution in cases where the installation manager may fail to download the installation files. So who's ready to install 2019? Let's jump into my computer and get 19 installed. The first thing we're going to do is download the installation manager for SOLIDWORKS 2019. This can be done by logging into the customer portal on solidworks.com. The customer portal gives you access to things like the knowledge base, your product information, and of course downloads and updates. On the downloads page, select 2019 as the version, select the SOLIDWORKS products, accept the license agreement, and click download. Once the download is finished, run the SOLIDWORKS setup executable and unzip. The installation manager will start automatically. Now we're ready to download the installation files. Let's just shove this window over a bit and get started. We're going to choose the download and share all file options. This will download a copy of the DVD at the current service pack, ensuring we have all the files needed for the install now and any future modifications to your installation. Here, type in your serial number, click Next, and verify your download directory is set to your desired location. Accept the terms and click Download Now. This step may take a while depending on your internet speed, but feel free to minimize the installation and continue with any other tasks. I'm going to grab some coffee while we wait. Be right back. All right, now that we have everything we need, let's go to the downloaded files location and run setup exe. Does this look familiar? This time around, we're going to choose the individual installation, enter the serial number, then we will wait for SOLIDWORKS to verify our license. On the summary page, we can adjust which products to install. In my case, I'm going to turn off a few that I don't need to use at this time by selecting Change and unchecking the boxes. You can also change the installation and toolbox locations if you require a different location other than the default path. Everything looks good here, so let's accept the terms and click Install Now. This next message will only appear for those of you using a network or floating serial number. For network installations, you're required to give a port and server name. Standalone installations will not see this message. The default is 25734 at the name of your license server. And we're almost ready to use the new feature-filled SOLIDWORKS 2019. Just a few more minutes while we wait for the installation to complete. In the meantime, let's talk about Jesse, the guy who managed to track down the shrink ray from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids to miniaturize me so I can join all of you here today. Hey Jesse, perhaps I should have asked this before. You can reverse this process, right? I sure hope so, because it looks like 2019 is finished and ready to use. Hey Jesse. Jesse, where'd you go? Well, we had to read the instructions and watch a few YouTube videos but we figured out where the enlarge button was. Anyway, I hope that I was able to help you through the download and installation of SOLIDWORKS 2019 today. If you are having trouble installing, please reach out to your SOLIDWORKS value-added reseller for further assistance. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more exciting SOLIDWORKS 2019 What's New content in the near future.
All right, Jesse, those are some really good enhancements for the admin, the install, and the UI. Can you pick out a couple favorites there?
I would have to say actually breadcrumbs is one of my favorites. I used breadcrumbs since they came out.
The one and only person to use breadcrumbs.
The one and only, possibly. But they were on the keyboard shortcut, right? And I love keyboard shortcuts. So I use those all the time. I was just using them yesterday. They're so helpful. But now they kind of follow you around in the in-context menu. So I'm hoping more people will start using them because they'll just pop up automatically now.
Yeah, I think with that enhancement, it definitely will allow more people to easily use it. It's kind of like what we talked about with mouse gestures in the past. Just start using it for dimension, and then everyone starts using it for everything else. So I think this is going to be really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so tomorrow we're going to be talking about parts and features, so stay tuned and see you tomorrow.